Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Guess what? I didn't vlog last night. I fell asleep and slept straight through. And I actually didn't even wake up several times throughout the night. I woke up at like, well, I don't want that lip gloss. I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning. And I was like, I am not going out to vlog right now. I'm too tired. Even though I had just slept from like 10 o'clock on. Alex and I got Taco Bell last night. Big exciting dinner. And we watched like 5 or 6 episodes of Schitt's Creek back to back. This is Alex's now like 3rd or 4th time watching them all the way through. And I don't know what it is about that show. That show is so fantastic. And I just sat there like mesmerized last night. At first he was like, do you care if we watch Schitt's Creek? And I was like, no, I guess not. Like, I mean, you've only watched it 100 times before. But then when I started watching it, I was like, oh my God, I forgot how much I love this show. I bought some new lip stuff when I was at Anthropologie yesterday. By the way, today is my sobriety birthday. I'm 26 years sober today. And I was just thinking that it's kind of weird that I'm vlogging, because I'm going to talk about my sobriety today, obviously, on here, but it's kind of weird that, I mean, I talk about my sobriety all the time, but it's kind of weird that I'm vlogging, like, on my sobriety day during the day instead of at night, because I think usually around this time when I, like, do a vlog, like I'm talking at night and it's very spiritual as I'm driving around, you know? And this is very much like what it was like the day that I woke up in treatment. And I was like, oh my God, where am I? Like, what did I do? Like, how did I end up here? And, you know, I woke up, well, first of all, we need to put some lip stuff on here. So these are the 2 things that I bought from Anthropologie yesterday. I bought this Lavender Stardust lip gloss. Is it not so pretty? It's really cheap too. No, I guess it wasn't too cheap. It was $7, but. And then I bought this Smith's Strawberry Lip Balm. Now, I tried the lip gloss last night, but I haven't tried the lip balm. So let's try the lip balm and see what it's like. I think it's such a pretty little package. If it's gonna come out. That's nice. So, as many of you know, I was a blackout drinker, which if you don't know what that means that like your body keeps performing, but at some point your mind shuts off, so you don't really remember anything that you did. And I have to say, for much of my life, I thought that that was normal, that a lot of people drank like that. I didn't realize that that was abnormal. To be a blackout drinker, you know? Really until kind of I got into treatment, and then I was talking about it, and there were so many people that were like, yeah, I drank a lot and I didn't ever black out. Like, I didn't realize it was kind of like such a big deal. I had always kind of been a blackout drinker from the very beginning. So anyway, I came to in treatment sometime that next day, today, and had no idea where I was, how I got there, or anything. And I remember like having on scrub pants and like just like a white t-shirt or something. And I like put on this robe, like this hospital robe and these hospital footies. And I walked out. And then, like, I was on this, like, back then, the treatment center that I was in had a detox unit. I'm going to get coffee. Here's the plan for today. I haven't decided. I was going to make this whole video about recovery, and I still think I will. But I don't think that I'm going to make a bunch of other videos today. I decided yesterday, because I'm walking around, you guys, even though I have 9 million pairs of shoes, I'm walking around in these Sperry's, and they get so cold. And I have this feeling that we're going to have a really snowy, wet, and cold winter in Indiana. And so I was like, I need something to just throw on with jeans. Y'all know I don't like to wear socks. I hate to wear socks, which is where, I mean, I was wearing Birkenstock sandals, you guys, up until yesterday. So, I was like, I need something to my lip gloss just flew across the thing over there. I was like, I need something to just throw on with jeans to leave the house and go get coffee or, you know, go run around and vlog and whatever. So, I think I'm gonna go get a pair of Uggs today, which I know is like literally the basic of basic. I've become Indiana with my, you know, my fleece coat. This is not fleece, but my other fleece coat and jeans and Uggs. But Tanya always wears them because, you know, like she works in Uggs because they're so comfortable for her feet to stand on, and she's got a ton of pairs. And so I was calling her last night and she's like, they're so comfortable, Peter. She's like, you'll love them. Well, I actually have one pair, but they're leather. They're not like the suede. And I got them in Gatlinburg like years ago with my mom, and they're like, probably that last Christmas that I was with her in Gatlinburg was when I got them. So they're like 12 years old. They're a size and a half too big. I just wanted them so bad, and they didn't have my size. So actually Alex wears them more than I do just to take the dogs out and stuff. So, I never really wore them like, you know, as shoes, like out a lot and stuff. So I'm gonna go to Macy's today because Tanya told me that Macy's has a lot of them. And then I have some Christmas presents I still need to get. I have my list. I made a list right here. I've got a couple things for Alex I have to get still. And then I've got one more thing I want to get for Tanya. And then David wants whole bean coffee, but I want to get him some kind of cool kind. I don't know where to go. And then maybe the Monn coffee shop in Broad Ripple. And then he also wants a green hoodie, medium. And then Mike, I've got to get something, but I'm gonna go to Home Depot for that. And then I got to get Jason and Melissa something from us. We don't usually do presents, but I'm like, we're gonna be spending some Christmas with them this year. So I think I'm gonna get them like, I don't know, something. But anyway, and now I'm going to get coffee right now at Starbucks. And I actually, like, I put up this Instagram story yesterday about asking me questions about my recovery, and I would go through, and today on this Q&A, I didn't quite expect to get as many questions as I did. I literally, you guys, I think I got like 1,000 questions. It was really unbelievable, and it was extremely overwhelming too, because there were so many questions from people asking me like about what to do about their loved ones, which breaks my heart, you know, at this time of year especially. But like, is this Starbucks closed too? So yeah, oh no, it's not closed. In fact, there's a long line. I've got my cup right here. So I walked out of my room, and I had this roommate next to me, and he was like snoring, and so I was in a room with a heroin addict that was withdrawing, and opioid withdrawals are like unbelievable. Alcohol withdrawals are actually some of the worst. Did you guys know that? And he would moan in his sleep. He would just be like, oh, like he was in so much pain, like his body was just like, felt like it was like stretching and stuff. So I walked out of the nurse's station, or I walked out of my room to the nurse's station, and I went up to the nurse's station, and I was like, well, I came face to face with my childhood neighbor that I didn't actually know was like a nurse. I knew she had, like, I knew kind of, I think she was a nurse, but I had no clue that she worked in a treatment facility. I don't even know that I really knew what, like, the concept of all of that meant, you know, before this time that it was like serious for me. And this guy's like staring at me out his rearview window. Or rearview mirror. Oh, what is that? They've got all kinds of special drinks. Could I please get a venti iced blonde Americano with 1 Splenda, please?
Splenda, anything else for you?
Nope, that's it.
Alright, 376 will be on Honda.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so I like started like saying to my old neighbor or something, I was like, I need to get out of here, and whatever. And I remember she like put her hand over mine and she was like, sweetie, you're really sick. And she like showed me something to do with my vitals or something. I can't remember it. I mean, it's been 26 years, but anyway, she showed me something to do with my vitals and she was like, you should be dead. Like, you shouldn't even be alive right now. And she showed me like my drug test. I tested positive like to almost like everything across the board almost. And like I had blown a .37 when I came in, which is like, I can remember the doctor later told me that I shouldn't have even been alive. What's crazy to me about that is I had actually quit drinking like hours before I came in. I mean, like literally like hours. So it makes me wonder like what my blood alcohol level really was. But I didn't really fight with her. I was kind of like, I need to go. Like, I need to not be here anymore. And I just wanted out. I just wanted to be home, which was always how I felt like the next day, like after like I would like drink or like, I mean, I drank and used so much, but like I just wanted to be home. I just wanted to be, you know, in my bed, and safe in my apartment. And she like handed me like a pack of cigarettes, which were mine, but I didn't know that at the time. And she was like, here, why don't you go down to the lounge and have a cup of coffee and just relax for a little bit. So I went down to this lounge and there was like one other woman that was sitting in there with me who I'd later like become kind of friends with in treatment. But the detox unit was like the only unit in the hospital where they served like real coffee, like caffeinated coffee. So I got like a cup of coffee and I remember I just sat there and like lit a cigarette and I didn't even really know what to do. Like I was so scared and I just was like freaked out. And I looked down at, I looked out the window and it was like blowing drifts of snow everywhere. And I was like, I am so effed. I am so screwed. Like I am here and I am stuck. This guy in front of me keeps on looking. He's like this older gentleman and he keeps on like looking through the rearview mirror and he's like smiling at me. Like I wonder if I like know him or something. Like if he's a friend of like my aunts or something. Like not, he's like smiling like nicely, like kindly.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good.
Great. Thank you. This one. Hi, it's blonde, Linda.
That's me. Thank you. You too. My friend Erin just texted me. She said, happy 26 years. Oh, so sweet. And Valerie texted me. That was the first thing I woke up to this morning. Was Valerini texting me happy birthday for my sobriety, which was so nice. So yeah, that was how this day started for me 26 years ago. And I had no intention of staying in treatment. I had no intention of staying sober. I knew I needed to stay sober. I knew I needed to be in treatment. I wasn't stupid. I knew that my drinking and my drugging was out of control. I didn't really care. It was nobody's business but my own, was how I felt about it. Even though I was not paying any of my own bills and I had everybody worried about me. I felt like you could just screw off. It has nothing to do with you. Yeah, that's how I felt. And I was bitter and I was angry and I was kind of a miserable human being and didn't really care, you know? It's funny how much like I love Christmas now because, and I loved Christmas then too, but like that year, like I can just remember how like and the years around then when I was like drinking and using so hardcore, like how completely just indifferent to the holidays I was. It just felt like a nuisance to me, like I had to do anything. I don't even think I bought presents for people, honestly. I don't, to be honest, like to even the idea of having to like think ahead enough to like actually get outside of myself to buy somebody else a gift was like, I don't think anywhere on my radar, you know? I remember actually that Christmas, and so it snowed really, really bad that whole time that I was in treatment. It was like we would have like 2 days where it didn't snow, and then we'd have like 2 days where it was like really bad snow. And I remember around Christmas, it was kind of bad. And I just got totally sidetracked by this person over here. I was like, this guy looks like so familiar to me. I don't know why. This is why I can't vlog during the day. But anyway, what was I gonna say? I remember that year for Christmas, I had this roommate, like at this point, he ended up getting kicked out. I don't remember what he got kicked out for, but this was after I was moved to the rehab unit. And I can remember like late at night, he'd always want to like smoke cigarettes in the room, which you weren't allowed to do that. You had to go outside to smoke. And so we would sit there at our desks and we would smoke. And I can remember we would like put the cigarettes out on the desk drawer, and I was such a rebel in treatment, wasn't I? But he ended up getting kicked out. I think he used in treatment somehow. I think his girlfriend brought him something to use in treatment. I don't remember. And but I remember like I feel like he was out of my room by Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'm almost positive he was. And so on Christmas Eve, they like came into our room at some point and they put these little pine trees that were like this big in our room. And I can remember just being so like, and it had little chocolates around it, and they gave us like a meditation book or something. I can't remember what they gave us, but it was like some little present. And I just was like, oh my God, I can't believe like I actually got a Christmas present. It was like the nicest thing. And I remember I was so excited about that stupid little pine tree for so long. Like it had little ornaments on it and everything. And I remember I took it home, and everybody else was just like throwing them in their trash. I like took them home. Like I was so excited about that little pine tree. I don't know what it was, you know? It was like I was talking on here the other day about the feeling of being like human again. And it was stuff like that like made me feel human. And so anyway, my mom ended up planting that pine tree next to her front door, like outside along the walk. And it was there literally until like Alex and I took it out because it turned into this big tangled bush kind of deal. But she had it there forever. I mean, it literally grew from like this little like pine tree into this like huge bush. I remember I had my friend, who her sobriety date is actually January 1st because she ended up getting sober like while I was in treatment. She called me drunk on New Year's Eve, and I was like, you do realize I'm in treatment, right? And she got sober. January 1st is her sobriety birthday, and she'll have 26 years. And she brought me, I wanted shampoo and like books and stuff. And I remember my dad wouldn't bring me any cigarettes and anything. He wouldn't bring me anything. He was like, you can just use what they have there. You don't need anything else. And so she brought me, I was like, I remember I gave her like a list of all these things that I needed. You know, and like, here I am, like 26 years later, I'm like, I never even reimbursed her for that stuff. Like, I just assumed like she should bring it to me. I never paid her for it or anything. And she brought me a carton of cigarettes. At that time I smoked Camel Light Wides, I remember. I smoked those Camel Wides when I was in treatment. And I switched while I was in there and started smoking menthol. But she brought me a carton of cigarettes, and then I wanted Aveda shampoo and conditioner. It had to be that. And I wanted like all the Michael Crichton books. And so, because I had just seen like some movie like Jurassic Park or something had just come out. And so I wanted to read all of the Michael Crichton books, and she brought me like 5 of them. And I remember I just sat there and like manically like read these books while I was in treatment. These Michael Crichton books, who I fell in love with Michael Crichton and his books. He's a fantastic writer. Passed away several years ago. But I remember on New Year's Eve, I was gonna tell the Pickle Lady story the other day, and I've told it before, and now I'm like, did I tell the Pickle Lady story? I don't remember if I did or not, but I'll tell it. I'm gonna tell it again anyway, because it's one of my favorite stories. So that night, we went to this meeting and stuff on New Year's Eve. Now, I had asked my counselor if I could have my hairstylist come and cut my hair on New Year's Eve. And she said, no, princess, and because you think you're so unique and so different, you can stay back, and because there was a New Year's dance in town. They have this big like 12-step New Year's dance. They don't do it anymore, but they used it was huge. It was hundreds of people that would go, and everybody would get dressed up, and it was really fun. And I wanted to go. I liked to dance, you know, and I knew that they were going to have caffeine and all this kind of stuff, and so I wanted to go. And so I wanted to look my best, of course, because you didn't know. My next boyfriend might be at that dance. But I didn't get to go to the dance. So anyway, it was me and one other woman, who I ended up knowing later, which is kind of crazy, that had to stay back. Well, it was, and then a couple other people that just didn't want to go to the dance. So I ended up going to, because I needed cigarettes, and I knew that they would stop at like a gas station. Well, let me flash forward really quick. So later, when I came back from this meeting, I had read all of my books, and like the ball had dropped, and it was just like I was real depressed. And I just had kind of had this moment of clarity from being at this meeting. And so I went to the counter, and this guy, I think he's since passed away, his name was Clyde. He was a really nice guy. And he worked there, and I worked with him later. And he said to me, or I said to him, I go, do you guys have anything really good to read? And I said, I'm all done with my Michael Crichton books. And he threw a basic text on the counter, and he goes, yeah, why don't you go try that? And I didn't have anything else to read, so I went into the cafeteria, and they would always put out like lunch meat and little bags of chips and stuff like that. I don't know why every time I tell this story about that stupid lunch meat, I always start crying. I just would get so excited about stupid little things like that, like just a sandwich, you know, or like a good cup of coffee or whatever, just like these little things that I like took totally for granted, had no appreciation for, and made me feel absolutely human. Just were these stupid little things that, anyway, so I went to the cafeteria, and they had this lunch meat laid out, and they had cheese laid out, and they had, you can make yourself a sandwich, you know, with like lettuce and all this kind of stuff. So I made myself a sandwich, and I sat down in the cafeteria, and it was like snowing like crazy. And I can remember, because that's where we would go outside and smoke, was right outside the cafeteria. And there were all these like mottos, like recovery mottos, like on, like spray painted on the windows of the cafeteria, like, you know, keep it simple, stupid, and let go, let God, and if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got, and one day at a time, and all these slogans that kept me sober, you know, literally for my first year, because anything that I would encounter, I would just think of one of those, you know, slogans, and I would be like, that's how I would get through it. And I sat there and I read the first 164 pages of the basic text. And in the last paragraph, it talks about trudging the road of happy destiny. And I had not been happy for so long that I had no idea what trudging the road of happy destiny meant. But I had come so close to death's door so many times with overdoses and how I got home ending up places I never should have, with people putting guns in my mouth. And, I mean, it was bad. And I didn't know what that was, but I knew that I wanted it. I knew I wanted that happiness that they talked about. And like something changed in me in that night, sitting there. I mean, something changed. I don't know what it was. I had a spiritual experience like none other. Like, I literally, something changed in me sitting there, and just from reading a book. I couldn't tell you what I read, what it meant. I couldn't tell you that I understood it. I just know that it had like profoundly changed me. So anyway, before that, because I didn't go to the dance, they were taking some people to a meeting, like the rehab people that weren't going to be able to go to the dance anyway, I think. So I went to the dance, or I went to the meeting because I knew that they would stop at like a gas station and I could buy cigarettes and stuff like that. Or food. At that point, like, they would stop at like, you know, Taco Bell or McDonald's or pull through somewhere if somebody wanted something. And so we go to this meeting and it was this speaker meeting, and it was in the basement of this church. And we go down there, and this woman is sitting. I just told this story the other night. This is where I was like, I told it at my meeting, so I'm also like, I tell it every year on my sobriety birthday, so I can never remember if I told it on video or not. But there was this woman giving this lead, and she had this big jar of pickles with her. I have, since this happened to me, and I've told this story 20 times, I have never, like, I have no idea who this woman is. And somebody came up to me a couple years ago and was like, I think I know who you're talking about. And then, like, that was it. Like, I never heard anything more about it. You'd think that's such a profound lead, somebody would know who she was. Because when I'm, like, not on camera telling the story, like, I say some more specifics about it. Because she told some specific things about her story. So, but anyway, she shared the story about ending up living underneath a park bench, sleeping and living, and all this loss that she suffered in her life. And I can remember, she had this big jar of pickles. And I kept on thinking to myself, what does she have this big jar of pickles for? Like, what is she going to give us these pickles? Like, what's this about, these pickles? I thought it was crazy. I thought it was stupid. And here I am in this smoky, dark church basement on New Year's Eve. And, you know, just not, like, cigarette smoke everywhere. It was like this high, you know, in the air. And it was dark down there. And there weren't a lot of people because it was New Year's Eve, and she's giving this lead and telling her story, and I'm thinking, she's crazy. Like, I would never let my life get that bad, you know. And the crazy thing is that my life was like 10 times worse than that, right? But I didn't even have like the clarity or the insight to see at that time that my life was worse than hers was, or worse than hers had ever gotten. So at the very end, it's gonna stop, so I'm gonna stop it. It was at 29 minutes, so before I get into the story and then stop it. But so at the very end of her story, she put her hand on top of the pickle jar, and I swear to God, she looked right at me. Like, right at me. And maybe she wasn't, but it felt like she looked right at me, and she said, and that's why every time I come to speak, I always bring this jar of pickles with me to remind me that I used to be a cucumber, but now I'm a pickle. And once you get pickled, you can't go back. And like, that shot through me like nobody's business. I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm a pickle. Like, I mean, I have tried this so many times. Tomorrow, next week, tomorrow, you know, that it didn't matter. And I knew in that moment that, like, if I went out there and I tried to do it differently the next time, I was just going to end up right back to where I was again. Because I was a pickle. You know, and nothing was going to change. And, yeah. Something changed in me hearing her story. And, I'm forever grateful for her. I don't know who she is, but I wonder if they have green sweatshirts at Macy's. I'm sure they do, right? For David. I just don't know where. Car just pulled right out in front of me. Hello. My lip gloss went on the floor. Not that lip gloss, but the lip gloss. The Lunar Beauty. And you know what? After that, I got real serious in treatment after that, you know? I mean, I wouldn't say that I was like the most... I love that this is called Stardust. I wouldn't say I was the most serious person in treatment by any means, but like, I was showing up to groups, I was doing what was asked, you know, and, I remember we did this, I don't know why I always remember this, but we did this activity in rec therapy where we had to like go around the room and we had to like get on our knees in front of people. I don't know why we did this exercise. If anybody knows this exercise, please let me know, because I don't like to this day know why we did it, but I remember like, you know, this is like the stuff that gets me real emotional. You know, I look in that room and I can see the faces, and it's like a room of like 20 like adults. I mean, I was so young at that point. I mean, I was 22 and a half. There was like one other guy in treatment at that time that was like my age. Everybody else in there was like 35 to 55. And we're all like in this group going around, and we had to like get on our knees in front of somebody and stare at them in their eyes, and we had to say something like, "I love you, baby, but I just can't break a smile," or something. And we were supposed to say it with a completely straight face and like not like, you know what I mean, like not like crumble at all. And we were supposed to do it with like this real straight face. I don't know what the exercise was about or why we did it, but I can just remember like this rec therapist, Lynn, had us like, he was like this tall, like 6'9" guy. He was so tall and stuff, and he had all of us just in there just like laughing our butts off. Like, we were just like, I can remember we left there and we like, for like the next 2 days, we just like look at each other like in the cafeteria and say, "I just can't break a smile." I mean, it was like this inside joke with all of us. And I look back on that and it's like so corny. And like, the reason that makes me cry is like, I hadn't had any like just genuine like laugh. Like, that's why we say we're not a glum lot. Like, I hadn't had any like genuine just like laughter or joy just without drugs or alcohol for a very, very long time, you know, like just genuine laughter or fun, you know, of just that wasn't induced some way. Now I have to go into Macy's looking like a crying mess. I know that it really doesn't matter because it's not going to see anybody I know, right? Oh my God, did I really truly get, I did not get this good of a parking space, did I? She's looking at me like, I'm like, gal, I'm parking right here, Jazz the gal from Schitt's Creek. I literally got a front spot parking. Can you believe it? Jazz the girls. I really should just shut down shop on the day that I got on my sobriety birthday because I'm just emotional about everything. I'm like so full of joy. I'm so happy. Everything, you know, today makes me happy. I just feel so like, I feel so blessed to be alive. And that I don't know. I'm so happy about my life and everything. I just feel so blessed, you know? So, all right, I'm gonna run in here and see if they have Uggs, and I will be back in just a little bit. Okay, I'm back. Well, I went in for Uggs, and I didn't get any Uggs. They didn't have any Uggs. Well, they had Uggs, but they didn't have the kind that I wanted. So, you guys, Macy's, like, I'm blown away. Like, there's not anything in there right now that is not like 30 to 50% off. Like, it's unbelievable. And like all of their coats, their North Face, Columbia, their Marmont coats, 30 to 50% off. All of their flannels and stuff. So I bought Alex this really pretty sweater. And then this is actually, I have this exact sweater, this Calvin Klein sweater. It's a turtleneck. I think I have 2 of them actually, but I wore it so much last year that I bought another one because I love this dark navy color. So, oh my God, this looks small though. It said it was a 2XL. Yep, 2XL. Anyway, so I got this sweater. Yeah, that one looks a little tiny. I don't know why. And then I got this to wear, I think, on Christmas Eve. Isn't this so pretty? I don't know if you can really see it, but it's like, do you see it up? Okay. And it's so pretty. Oh, you're seeing the back of it. I'm sorry. It's like this thick cable net. Do you see that? And then it has this huge roll neck turtleneck on it. You guys, this was like $60-some, $80, and it was marked down to $30. I couldn't believe it. So I got that. And then I got 2 flannels, because I love a good flannel, that are this weatherproof brand, and they were on sale too. And then I got, after all that, I got a card for $30 off. So I may come back and look at boots or something tomorrow. I don't know. The kind of Uggs that I wanted, they don't have on there. I'm thinking I'm just gonna order on Amazon. I mean, it's not like I have to get them anywhere special, you know. This guy actually walking out right now, he has this Patagonia coat on that I have, but he has these cute boots on, and I was like, I kind of like those boots, so maybe I'll look at those boots tomorrow. It really wasn't too busy in there. I was asking the woman that was helping me. She was so nice. I was like, have you guys been busy? This little kid has like matching boots on with his dad. They both have matching little, like, those like Chelsea boots on. I was asking her, I said, have you guys been really busy this year? And she said, no, we really haven't. She said, I think, you know, I said, because you guys are having unbelievable sales. And she said, yeah, I know. And then I was like, do you know where I could get just a green sweatshirt? And she was like, I said, I was thinking about going to Walmart. It might be cheaper there. And she was like, yeah, I'm sure it's cheaper at Walmart. But I wanted to get David like a nice sweatshirt. Not that they don't have nice sweatshirts at Walmart. They do, but honestly, I think I might pay more at Walmart or Meijer for a sweatshirt than I would at Macy's right now at their sale. Dick's Sporting Goods, I wonder if they're having any sales right now. I just don't know. It's gonna be an interesting Christmas this year. So Alex is all his family is going out of town. So he and I are just alone this year for Christmas. We don't usually do Christmas with my dad until like after or before. My dad and my stepmom are not big on holidays. So like for us, like doing Christmas with them is like, they don't do like, you know, a turkey and the whole 9 yards. They'll do like, we'll go out to dinner with them somewhere. And that's like Christmas for us with my dad and my stepmom. They'll go to like, well, they probably won't this year. They usually go to like some kind of church mass on like Christmas Eve. Well, that was more like when her dad was alive. Since her dad's passed, I don't think they do that as much anymore. I don't know. And so anyway, so we're not doing our, you know, till 3 o'clock in the morning Christmas Eve like we usually do with Alex's family, because they're going to be out of town this year. And we just made a decision not to do that. They're going to visit really close friends the woman that was visiting, that is Carlos's godmother. They're going to visit her for Christmas. So it was kind of like a last minute kind of deal. And yeah, so anyway, so Christmas Eve, we will be with Caroline and David and Mike. It'll just be the 5 of us. And Caroline said that we're gonna like get Chinese food. So I said, let me get the Chinese food, I'll take care of all of it. And she said, okay. So we're doing Christmas Eve together, and then Christmas Day, Caroline's gonna do like turkey and, you know, stuffing and mashed potatoes and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna do Christmas Day at her house. And then Christmas Eve, because Caroline and Mike and David, they kind of do like their own Christmas Eve thing. Because in the past, we would do like dinner and then like leave and go over to Alex's, you know, families, because their Christmas is on Christmas Eve and it starts at like 8 or 9. So, yeah, so that's typically what we would do in the past. And, so since we're not going to be doing that this year, like Alex, Caroline and Mike and David like unwrap some of their presents on Christmas Eve and stuff. So we're gonna leave so that they can do like their own little thing. Although Caroline said we could stay as late as we wanted and played games and whatever. But then I think we're gonna go over to maybe Melissa and Jason's, because they're just gonna be with her. Melissa said that she thinks maybe like her mom might be going to St. Louis to visit her brother or something, so it might just be her dad or something. Or if her mom doesn't go, it'll just be her mom and dad that they're gonna do like an early dinner with. So we're gonna stop over there on Christmas Eve and watch a Christmas movie and make Christmas cookies. And then, yeah, and that's gonna be our Christmas this year. The lip gloss is like right there. I'm like, can I reach it? Can I reach it? The Lunar Beauty lip gloss. Of course, I started telling a story. I cannot get through one vlog without telling a story about somebody, you know? Anyway, what time is it? 2 o'clock. I was 2:19. I wanted to be home from shopping and my vlog done and my review video and everything done by 3 o'clock. That was my plan. But unfortunately, that did not happen. So, okay. I think I'm gonna take my vlog home now and start rendering it, so that, because it takes like 2.5 hours for this vlog to render and get up. And I know this is shorter than I usually make it, but I'm gonna put it up and then go back out and do my review video for today. I think I'm gonna do this peppermint mocha latte or whatever from McDonald's. And I already picked the winners randomly for the first 2 giveaways. Oh, yesterday, that was the thing. It got so late with me getting my videos up. Before I knew it, it was like 8 o'clock. And I still hadn't filmed my review video. And I was like, I gotta make a decision. And I was like, I'm just not gonna film a video. So I'll have to do like a 2-for-1 giveaway or something like that during this 12 days of Christmas, because I was like, I can't, like, I'm not going to post a review video at 11 o'clock at night. It was so late. And the crazy thing was that I had gotten up so early yesterday and just kind of went on about my day. So I don't know, like, why it took me so long, but it did. Anyway. I think I'm actually going to listen to some music and just kind of relax for a little bit. So I'm going to get off here now. I'll talk more tonight about my early days of getting sober. I don't even know how long I vlogged, 40 minutes or something like that. It's a short one tonight, but it'll give people a chance to catch up. So I'm going to get off here now. Thank you for driving around with me today, and I will see you guys later tonight. I love you guys. Bye. Love ya!